Begin with Gavin Newsom, the main problem: homelessness in the state, fraud, illegals, protecting transgenders. The list is long. And standing beside him, his wife, Jennifer. She says she's not the first lady of California. She calls herself the first partner because, she has to be gender neutral. And in the Newsom household, behind closed doors, their kids can't watch anything on TV that slightly projects common sense. And now they want to target young boys. Watch.
Boys, we all know, I think, or increasingly are realizing that boys are moving away from sort of the more progressive boys that spend time online are moving a little bit, I'm trying not to be political here, but are moving to the right and being sort of influenced by the Andrew Tates and some of that sort of alt-right socialization online that we know is very, very dangerous. My husband and I were alarmed when our kids were watching sports online and my son knew about Andrew Tate and thought he was pretty cool and thought that his Republican grandfather, who's not a Trumper, but a fiscal conservative, thought that my father would like Andrew Tate. So that's scary. We're like one of the most progressive households, and our son is confused and asking all these questions. We're working on legislation to hold tech companies accountable and help them be a force for good in our kids' and families' lives, to really provide all the best-in-class resources and support for youth so that they don't go down this rabbit hole of very, very dangerous and limiting narratives around ultimately what it means to be a girl and what it means to be a boy. We owe it to them and ourselves to kind of heal this gift of modern technology, but curb it to be a force for good. I mean, look, the Gov and I, we have 3 more years. We're trying to institutionalize our values so that they carry on beyond our term.
Let's hope not. Let's bring in West Coast commentator Sam Mirejovsky, host of the What's Right show. Sam, she said it multiple times. It's dangerous. What is wrong with the Newsom family? What woke world do they live in?
Well, Vanessa, thanks for having me on. Great to see you again. I don't know about you. I find the first partner of California almost as insufferable as her husband to listen to. And behind all that, all those, words that she threw at us is something pretty sinister and dangerous, which is, I guess boys being boys and girls being girls is wrong in her worldview and needs to be corrected via onerous government oversight, cracking down on social media companies and the like. And the thing that I really don't like, first of all, I mean, Andrew Tate, I think, I don't think young men should follow Andrew Tate. I don't think Andrew Tate is quote unquote conservative. I think there are plenty of other conservative voices that are probably influencing her kids. She's specifically choosing him as an extreme example because, it's a good one to latch onto. But here's what's going on behind the scenes, and I love it. What's happening in the Newsom household is the same thing that's happening across the country. Young men, and it doesn't matter if her parents are Joe Schmo or Gavin Newsom, young men are tired of being talked down to. And they want affirmation that their masculinity, their emerging masculinity is okay and is acceptable and isn't toxic. And by the way, women, girls want this too, right? Because we're talking about a millennia of evolutionary biology that for some reason these radicals want to reorganize in the span of a decade. So this is it's happening, Vanessa. She's the Newsoms right now are desperate to seize the moment and thrust themselves into the 2028 election. Gavin wants to be president.